what does that say? 12 hours, 11 minutes. It's Tuesday, April 6th. Let's see, any other mornings here? No. 11:08 a.m. 12 hours. Okay, so that tells you when I went to bed. Wow. I'm gonna put on my bathrobe here, and I'm gonna tell you about my dreams. One was very particularly vivid. Okay, so first of all, last night I went for a walk around 6:30, sort of a jog, but then I wound up getting a milkshake and two croissants and a butter tart. And I've had like sort of acid reflux in my mouth since then. I woke up at 5 a.m. Can't find a belt to this thing. Here, I'll use a scarf. And I picked that up with my toes, and that's like a superpower. My dad says he saw me pick something up with my toe like last week, and he's like, "Oh, you can still do that. I've never been able to do that." And I'm like, "Really?" So I don't know. Maybe I'm like an X-Man, a mutant. Here's the belt. Anyways, and I just picked it up again with my toes. Okay, so that's relevant because in my dream I had a superpower. But the first dream, anyway, so I woke up at 5 a.m. And it felt very like, oh, is it morning? But it wasn't. So I brushed my teeth and then I put on another podcast for half an hour. And it was the one reviewing comic book movies. Maybe that's how things got into my head about superpowers. Anyway, so the first dream I remember from the first half, my little niece was in there. What was I on? I was on some kind of bus or something. But then I was like on, I don't know, just outside the bus or something. It's like a bright day, and there was this giant like iPad, and I wanted to show my niece some photos. And I was trying to scroll through, but it wasn't scrolling, and I was like, I need to do this. But then I'm like, I want to figure this out, but in case there's any photos that aren't appropriate for my niece, I want to be able to, have her not look until I'm ready to show her. But I just couldn't scroll it, and I'm like, I need to call Apple support. I need to figure this out. Look how sunny it is out. My plant. Where's my plant? Oh, there it is. It just doesn't have leaves yet. And that's, I guess, basically it. So now, okay, the other dream is fading quick, so let's get on this fast. The other one was about, okay, first I was, it's like that song, first I was afraid, I was petrified. No, so I think my friend Mike Falconer was in the dream. I don't know, there's this big building, kind of like an office. I was working in some kind of office. Like I would go, walk to this door, and I'd go in, and I had the key to it, and I was just storing some boxes or bags or something at the front of the office. But if I go behind the wall, like there's a little wall glass, I could go in and I could be like, oh, there's all this stuff. And I was like, oh, I could take anything, but no, there's a security camera, so I shouldn't take anything. They'll see. And it was kind of like a library or something. And there was like a back room, like, this is so cool that I work here. But I kept going there and then going back. Was it that I needed to use a washroom and I kept going there? Or now I'm thinking, like, was I walking around? Was there some kind of party or something? And I'd keep going back. I don't know. I remember I was supposed to meet up with Mike, and he's like, "I'll meet you back at the office." And I'm like, "Okay." Now I remember sitting outside that office building, and these parents coming by, and there was like two sets of parents, and I was like, "Okay, well, which phone number should I use? Like, if somebody wants to reach you, like, who do I call to update?" And they're like, "Oh, you can call that number." I'm like, but what's the other number? And like, these are landlines. Like, should I just call one number? I don't know what I was updating them about. Something to do with Superman, I think. Because I remember, this is the gist of the dream, that I could move things with my mind. Like if I just concentrated hard enough, I could go and make like a glass move towards my hand or something. And I discovered this, and I'm like, oh my god, this changes everything. And then in my dream, I was like wondering, does this is this something that I could always do and I just forgot about it? Like I knew that I could sit there and move things and I just never paid attention to it. So then I was on some kind of bus, like the bus, like if you were going to a zoo or something, or to an exhibit. So I'm on this little tour bus or something, like this little table, and I'm just like making things go into my hand, and people are looking at me, and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm a superhero. And I was going to see Superman, like Henry Cavill, I think was in like shooting a movie or something. even though he's really Superman. And the bus gets this area, and there's like this big snow area, like it's made of ice, and he's in the other area, and I got to the first area, and then I walked over, and I'm like, I've got to find. He walked by, and did he know me? Now it's all starting to fade, but I remember talking to him, and he's like, yeah, like that changes everything. Um, and that see things made sense in the dream. Uh, and then I don't know. There was this fight scene where I was trying to run away. I think I went to this lab. I said, okay, I'm gonna come in. Um, and I'm gonna let you test me. And they were like, oh, it's not gonna work or whatever. But then, oh, so maybe this is in my head from because I watched a clip of Captain America waking up at the end of, I guess, Captain America, and then he discovers where he is, and he bursts through this wall, and I'm like, okay, maybe that's like me, because I remember being in this lab, and they were like, okay, well, whatever you can do, like we'll make the test to test you. Um, and so I said, all right, well, have, I don't know, things in a glass box and a couple of rocks there. And I'm sitting at the desk, and I was like, and I could make the rocks move, make the rocks move. And they were like, there's no way that he could have faked this. But then I had a sense that, oh my God, they're going to like try to analyze my brain or keep me prisoner. So I'm like, I get out, and I'm like I'm running down the hall, this dark hall with black walls, kind of like a modern hotel. And then I'm like in this big area, like a mall, and I jump off the balcony, like where the elevators are, and I'm like, ooh, and I can sort of land because I can make myself fall, and then the soldiers are all coming after me, and then did I was it the same mall where that office I was working in was? Um, what else can I remember? I remember trying to reach Superman. I'm like, if I can just reach him, we can talk about, I could be a superhero too, and then that means I'm an alien. And it changes everything. And then I started thinking about what my psych teacher taught me in university that he said, like, the whole world depends on random number generators. So if anybody had psychic powers, nothing would work because, satellites wouldn't work, nothing would work. But I'm like, but what if I'm the one guy and I've just never used this power? And then so anyway, so I'm lying in bed, like sort of half awake now, and I'm like, maybe this is true. Maybe I can make this happen. So I just kind of kept trying to picture the button to the garage, and I'm like, just focus, focus, focus. If I could press that button, if I can hear that garage door open, it's gonna change everything. Or then I'm like, okay, well, my CPAP machine is on. Can I just focus? Can I make the mask move a bit, like let some air out? And then it sort of worked, and I was like, wait, what? But maybe it's just because my face was moving a bit. And I'm like, okay, just make the Velcro move. Just do it. And then I thought, if I just get up today and spend all day staring at something using my hand, and then I was trying to figure out, well, does it only work if I can see the thing? But then how does that make sense? What if I was blind or my eyes are closed? Like, how does this power work? And then I'm like, maybe I should get up and write a story, like a movie about this. This is kind of cool. Like just a simple movie of a guy who discovers, hey, you can move things with your mind. And then I'm like, that could change everything. And then I'm like, why don't I just write it on Wattpad, like this website where you can, submit sort of fan art or fan stories. And wasn't Twilight like a story, like it was supposedly, or no, well, maybe it was started on there, but also 50 Shades of Grey is supposedly like a Twilight fan story that was made on that website or something. So, what else? Trying to meet Superman. There was like two Supermen, but again, that's just left over from YouTube videos, like Black Suit Superman. There was a scene of him, somebody edited in at the end of Shazam, and it's basically the whole story. But it was very intense, and it looks like from 5 a.m., about 5:30 when the podcast went off, to 10:50 a.m. when I looked at my phone. That's what I was dreaming about. Pretty intense. So yeah, that's basically the gist of it. So there you go. If you see a blockbuster movie, or you read about that, or if you read about me moving things with the mind, you'll know it. Let's just try it right now. Here, there's a bottle. God, that would be cool if I could just. Ah. All right, I'll keep working on it.